ABC27 News at 11 starts now with your forecast first with Chief Meteorologist Eric Finkenbunder.
It was another spring-like February day. We're going to be staying mild tonight. We did hit 50. We're still in the 40s as we look across Harrisburg. Skies are starting to clear, which means hopefully we'll get a little bit of sunshine to kick off our Wednesday before the clouds return. More rain and mild on Thursday. Then we get a little bit of a cool down moving into the weekend. It doesn't last long. We talk about that rain. When it arrives, when it leaves, that's coming up, Dennis.
Now, live from your local news source, this is ABC27 News at 11.
And good evening, I'm Dennis Owens.
I'm Alicia Richards. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's New Hampshire primary went a lot more smoothly than last week's Iowa caucuses.
That was a low bar. The results are trickling in. Most of the polls closed at 8 tonight, and just as that happened, Andrew Yang announced he's dropping out of the race. Michael Bennet is calling it quits, too. Meanwhile, polls show Senator Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg leading the pack. They're neck and neck. Senator Amy Klobuchar isn't too far behind. Some votes were also cast for Michael Bloomberg, and he's not even on the ballot. Those were written in. Bloomberg joined the presidential race too late to qualify for the New Hampshire primary. And former Vice President Joe Biden has already left for South Carolina, which has the next primary along with Nevada. Mona Kosar-Abdi has the story from Manchester.
Moments after polls closed in the nation's first primary, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders quickly rising to the top spot. Sanders easily won the state's 2016 primary and going into the competition had confidence he'd repeat his success 4 years later.
We are going to beat Donald Trump.
Former Mayor Pete Buttigieg, feeling the boost from his top showing in Iowa, found himself neck and neck with Senator Amy Klobuchar. Klobuchar, a late riser, gained momentum in recent days with moderate voters.
We have beaten the odds every step of the way.
Over the weekend, her campaign drawing its largest crowd in the Granite State and bringing in millions in donations. The night, however, not unfolding as Elizabeth Warren had hoped. The Massachusetts senator taking the stage at her election night party to congratulate her competitors.
Senator Sanders and Mayor Buttigieg had strong nights. And I also want to congratulate my friend and colleague, Amy Klobuchar, for showing just how wrong the pundits can be when they count a woman out.
But Warren making it clear this was not a concession speech and that her campaign is in it for the long haul. Former Vice President Joe Biden having already left the state for South Carolina with a similar showing in New Hampshire.
And that was Mona Kosar-Abdi reporting. Voters in Pennsylvania can now mail in their ballots for the primary, which is April 28th. Unlike absentee ballots, no excuse or reasons are needed. Election staff will not be allowed to touch absentee or mail-in ballots until after polls close. This means counting votes could take several hours.
It is certainly possible that there will be some races where you're not going to know on election night exactly who won.
Applications for mail-in ballots are available on the Department of State's website, and the deadline for county elections officers to receive them is 1 week before the election. That's April 21st.
New tonight, 4 people have been killed in Harrisburg this year. Several others were shot and wounded. This uptick in violence has created another uptick in activism. Sarah Israel joins us now with that. Sarah.
Yeah, Alicia, the chairman of the Mayor's Interfaith Council says the city is like a mosaic. There's beauty in our different faces, voices, and perspectives. So when the city is beaten down, it's everyone's duty to stand up.
God, I understand, Lord, that we are in perilous times.
Crime in the street is kind of like cancer. It's just not a respecter of persons. It's not a respecter of boundaries.
Disrespected and disheartened, but not destroyed. Thankfully, hope also knows no bounds in Harrisburg. All faiths came together to pray for peace and for the police who have to keep it.
You have long days and longer nights.
What they see, what they have to deal with is not pleasant. It takes a toll on them.
Commissioner Carter feels that toll, especially with recent bloodshed.
We're out there working the streets, but, we really can't stop it by ourselves. It takes everybody.
Just a fraction of that everybody lended voices and support to help families heal. Criminals need to be caught. People need to speak up. So far, no arrests have been made in any of the homicides.
We're not going to tolerate it. We're not going to put up with it. And we're going to get you out of here by any means necessary.
Around-the-clock detective work if necessary, but Goodman hopes the people who pulled the trigger will turn themselves in.
Doesn't mean that we don't have to repent for what we've done, but there is a God that still receives you.
We will put a stop to this gun violence.
Now, the names of those homicide victims in Harrisburg so far in 2020 are 21-year-old Brian Hall, 28-year-old Tanya Dorsey, 34-year-old Al Rahman Williams, and 21-year-old Jason Hill. Dennis.
Sarah, thank you. The Lancaster County District Attorney is fighting a motion to drop charges against a woman accused of causing a crash that killed 2 Warwick High School students. Last month, lawyers for Deborah Slaymaker Walker made that plea, arguing that she suffered a seizure moments before the October 2018 crash. There's the aftermath. Today, the DA filed a motion saying a crime was still committed and that a jury should decide if Slaymaker Walker is guilty. A judge has not yet made a decision.
New tonight, in a highly unusual move, 4 federal prosecutors have quit the Roger Stone case. It's just days before Stone's sentencing and just hours after they recommended he serve up to 9 years in prison. Stone is a confidant of President Trump. He was convicted of 7 felonies involving impeding the Russia investigation and lying to investigators. The prosecutors quit when their sentence recommendation was promptly overruled by the Justice Department and publicly slammed by President Trump.
I thought the recommendation was ridiculous. I thought the whole prosecution was ridiculous. And I look at others that haven't been prosecuted, or I don't know where it is now. But when you see that, I thought it was an insult to our country, and it shouldn't happen. And we'll see what goes on there.
The Justice Department says their decision was made before the president made his feelings known.
Also new at 11, actor Jussie Smollett will face charges in connection to a hate crime attack. After all, the Chicago police say he made up. A grand jury indicted the former Empire actor on 6 counts today. He's accused of making a false police report. Last year, he claimed he was attacked by 2 men because he's black and openly gay. He was arrested for it, but prosecutors dropped the charges, outraging the city's mayor and police. A judge then assigned a special prosecutor to the case, who then recommended charges.
The defense rests its case in the Harvey Weinstein sexual assault trial. The former movie mogul did not take the stand in his own defense. A defense witness who did testify, a memory expert who's also Weinstein's friend, says Weinstein has a sex addiction. Closing arguments are next. The jury is set to begin deliberating next Tuesday.
Another Penn State fraternity has been suspended. The school's investigating an unregistered social event at Delta Kappa Epsilon. It happened last month, and officials say it potentially endangered students. This is the second fraternity Penn State has suspended in just the past month. Alpha Epsilon Pi is being investigated for a report of sexual assault.
Gladfelter is moving its corporate headquarters from York to Charlotte, North Carolina. The global manufacturer of engineered materials and specialty paper products was founded in York in 1864. But they say going to Charlotte will give them more resources, travel options, and talent. This is a loss for York.
Hopefully, this will still not change the fact that 40% of Americans touch a Gladfelter product every day. We certainly love being proud of that, and I think York will continue to be proud of it.
About 70 people work at the York headquarters. Most of them are expected to relocate to North Carolina. Gladfelter sold a paper plant in Spring Grove 2 years ago.
Crews are still working to repair a water main break on North Street in Harrisburg. It happened Sunday, putting nearly 200 homes and several businesses under a boil water advisory, which is still in effect. Capital Region Water says the pipe is from the 1930s and has deteriorated. A new valve needs to be installed. No word on when repairs will be completed.
A proposal to build new state police barracks in Dauphin County is getting some pushback. State police want different barracks in Washington Township so they can have more space and better protection from ambush attacks. But some residents are saying there's no need for a new facility because their current one is only 15 years old. There's also some concern that a planned outdoor shooting range will be very noisy.
This is proposed directly in front of our shopping plaza in that area, and also nearby to a development in that area.
Others say they'd be okay with the proposal if it included an indoor shooting range. Washington Township supervisors will discuss this at their next meeting, which is a week from today. Coming up tonight.
African Americans need to vote because our ancestors died for our right to vote.
An event honoring Black History Month with words from Governor Wolf. The topic, African Americans and the vote in a very important election year. New tonight, 2020, as you may have heard, is an election year. So tonight at the State Museum of Pennsylvania, a Black History Month event focused on African Americans and the vote.
And this year marks milestone anniversaries for the Black suffrage movement. Tonight's event highlighted new laws meant to make voting easier. Alex Peterson joins us live. Alex?
Well, guys, speakers tonight pairing Black history and the right to vote, saying the two have a tumultuous past, one that needs to be remembered. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. It also marks the 150th anniversary of the 15th Amendment, giving Black men the right to vote. Tonight, Pennsylvania's new voting laws under Abc27 were also highlighted. Most voters can now vote by mail-in ballot, and voters will have more time to register and to return absentee or mail-in ballots. Governor Tom Wolf tonight saying Pennsylvania is now one of the most progressive states for voters' rights, in his opinion. Others said voter education is also paramount.
And today is the first day that you can actually register to vote in Pennsylvania. We have 50 days and you can vote by mail. You don't have to go to a polling place. You can vote at your kitchen table. You can vote wherever you want.
It's not just about registering individuals to vote. It's also about teaching them who to vote for and also making plain the individuals that they're voting for. Do they line up with your moral compass? Do they line up with your moral imperative?
And obviously the importance of voting extends to everyone, so a reminder for you, we are 77 days out from the April primary. You can start registering now, but you must be registered with a party to vote in the respective PA primary. In the studio, Alex Peterson, ABC27 News.
Alex, thank you. Also new tonight, some of the newest members of the Swedera Township or Swedera Police Department honored tonight during an evening of recognition. K-9 Officer JT and his handler, Corporal Timothy Bloss, were given an award for Officer of the Year. The department only started using K-9s again in the last couple of years after a long hiatus. The township says the dogs serve an important dual purpose.
They help, bridge the gap between people and the officers because everybody wants to come up and talk to the handlers and meet the dogs. But they also serve their purpose, for serving warrants, apprehensions, drug searches.
JT's very handsome there. He's born in Slovakia in 2017, is certified in narcotics detection, building searches, and tracking.
Ali Barubi's here now. What's coming up in sports?
Well, the 13th ranked Nittany Lions have won 6 games in a row, and they're looking to make that 7. Can they keep it going against Purdue? Those highlights coming up next.
Also coming up, the Birds are back in town a little earlier than normal. We'll tell you why.
You're watching ABC27 News, your local news source.
Just another mild February day.
That's right. It's nice that we started spring in December. We're moving on. Now, we don't see snow either. We're hoping maybe towards the end of February, but it looks like the rest of this month stays warm, despite a couple of chilly days here and there, including toward the end of the week. Let's first give you that time lapse of what it looked like today. And stuck in the clouds again, and every once in a while we just get enough sprinkles that it just kind of kept everything damp, but we hit 50 degrees. When the average high now, which is important to mention, is 40. It's no longer 38 or 39. The average high is now 40. So we're starting to move in the other direction, but we're still 10 degrees warmer than average. All right, I'm in the way. Let's step off the screen and show you. Ferguson School at York made it to 53. Ardensville and Adams County 53. Carlisle, Cleona, all in the lower 50s. Currently, mid-40s, lower 40s. We got 39 right now at Ardensville Elementary School. I want to quickly show you, this is so far this month. So the last 10 days of February, month to date, we are currently ranked as the second warmest February on record, with more warmth that we see for the next 7 to 10 days and perhaps even beyond. I would say it's a pretty fair assumption that we'll be making it into the top 10, if not top 5 warmest Februarys. That's coming off of a top 10 warmest January. All right, so we got a dry Wednesday and just enough dry air that we'll be able to sneak in at least a little bit of sunshine in the morning. And then we're back to the clouds and then eventually some rain Wednesday night. That rain is going to stick in here for at least the first half of Thursday, too. So let's play it all out for you. Here's tomorrow morning. If we were to get sunshine, it's tough this time of the year, and it's tough when we have mild air in place. It normally brings a lot of moisture, but a little optimistic that we can get some of that sunshine. Clouds roll in for the afternoon. We're dry until after sunset. Then you start to notice, wow, look at all that snow. Could we see some snow? Yes, but it wouldn't be very long and it wouldn't stick. We get too much warm air that floods in too quickly. So Wednesday night, I mean, we just get a good slug of rain that moves in. This is primarily rain for us. And then off we go into Thursday, some off-and-on showers for the first half of the day. We stretch this out over the next 7. We've talked about this cold snap. I'm just saying cold snap because it's 2 days, if that. So that's going to be happening Valentine's Day. It will be breezy and colder. We dropped down to 15 to kick off the weekend. Saturday, 37, lots of sunshine. If there is a day you really want sunshine and you can tolerate the cold, Saturday is that day. Sunday we go then, we start to warm things up. We hit 50 for President's Day. Scattered showers then return next Tuesday. Get a good look at the 7-day, but notice at the end of that 7-day, we're back into the 50s. Here we go again. So we're milder than average now, moving into late February. So our friends at the Climate Prediction Center, pretty good confidence that we stay warm. And of course, when we're warm this time of the year, we also stay pretty damp. I'm not sure why we're showing that right now, but anyway.
Okay, it's all good.
I hit the button too many times.
We got a lot of buttons on that thing.
We got a button to push.
We do, and it's our breaking news button. 90% of the polls are in, but it's already been called in New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders has won the New Hampshire primary. Coming in second is Pete Buttigieg, and Amy Klobuchar is third. She's
really surged.
And everyone else is distant fourth, fifth, sixth.
Including former Vice President Joe Biden, who really went down, and he flew to South Carolina.
Yes, he did.
Tonight. He didn't even stick around New Hampshire to get the final results. So
it's only 2 in, but those first couple of ones are extra big.
And they're all saying still a long way to go.
That's it. All right, let's watch this video now. It's that time of year again. The snow geese are coming back to the Middle Creek Wildlife Preserve in Lancaster County. So far, management has seen more than 100,000 birds. They stop here every year. This year, they're early, though, because it's been such a mild winter. The geese count on this mid-state location as a place to rest along the way.
Nice stop. Nice to have them.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the coronavirus in China has ruined the wedding plans for a husband-to-be from the mid-state. What will the happy couple do now?
Tonight's military hero is Sergeant Melvin Lean Arnold Peck. She was in the Army for 21 years. We salute you and thank you for your service.
China is now reporting 97 new deaths from the coronavirus, and the total has surpassed 1,000 in China. And a cruise ship off the coast of Japan now has 174 confirmed cases, 39 more than were reported today. All the passengers and crew on board the Diamond Princess have been quarantined since February 3rd.
Because of this outbreak, people are not able to travel to China, but that is now hindering wedding plans for a local family. Christopher Neverman and his bride Nicole live in Shanghai. His family's from the Mechanicsburg area, and they were going to fly out for the wedding next month. Now, though, all the flights are canceled. 30 friends and family were going to go.
When the virus started, we started hearing from everybody, are you going to cancel, are you going to cancel? We weren't going to cancel it. We just kind of waited it out. And then it was probably 2 weeks ago that everything was canceled. The airlines canceled everything.
Now, the couple is already actually married. They've got their marriage license. So the plan at this point is to have their reception in the U.S. in July.
A majority of new mothers do not follow safe sleep practices for their infants. That's according to a new study. Out of more than 3,000 moms surveyed, a little less than half actually followed those safe sleep recommendations. Unsafe sleep practices can lead to sudden infant death syndrome, which is the leading cause of baby deaths in the U.S. UPMC Pinnacle says educating parents is the key. Babies should sleep in its ABCs, alone, on their back, and in a crib. Still ahead on ABC27, grooming and training to be the best. The winners of this year's Westminster Dog Show. Look at that. And a look at the preparations that are involved. The famous Westminster Dog Show wrapped up just moments ago.
It did indeed. More than 2,000 dogs from across the country competed for various titles. ABC's David Muir shows us now which were crowned the best.
The last-minute preps before their big moment tonight, the brushing, the drying, the teasing, and a high five. The 144th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show in New York City. Best in Show crowned tonight. Among the hopefuls, 3-year-old Siba, the standard poodle.
There we go.
Bono the Havanese is 3.
The Havanese has it.
Winner in his toy group for the second year in a row. Bourbon the Whippet is 4.
The Whip it good.
She could be the first Whippet since 1964 to win the top prize. And 6-year-old Conrad the Sheepdog with his owner, Tyler Crady. More than 2,600 dogs from 49 states and 19 countries competing here. Game faces on. Hold still, Paulie. Regina Kiter from Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania, trimming his whiskers. A good luck kiss for Amber, Couton de Tuliar. Stephen, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, head up for the blow dry. And just what does it take for these dogs to prep?
It's a several-month-long process to get her in shape for this kind of show. Just teaching her how to do it right, at the same time have that enthusiasm that any athlete needs.
Athletes like Pink, the Border Collie from Pickerton, Ohio, with her owner Jennifer Crank jumping over hurdles and through hoops to win the Masters Agility Championship.
Pink says, I got this.
And the only dog to finish in under 30 seconds. Just look at the instant replay.
Look at the intensity on Pink's eyes.
Pink and Jennifer celebrating after.
Third straight title for Pink.
The third year in a row, Pink won that contest. The Best in Show later tonight.
All right, we have a Best in Show as of just minutes ago. You saw him in that piece. It went to Seba, I think he said, the standard poodle.
Congratulations.
Poodles always win.
Yeah.
A lot. All right, it's conference tournament week for our high schoolers. Allie Bruby will bring you the highlights coming up after the break.
Penn State men's basketball came into the night on a 6-game win streak, but somehow the 13th ranked team in the country found themselves as 5-point dogs against unranked Purdue Boilermakers. Less than 4 minutes in, the shooting gets going. Lamar Stevens connects from distance for the Nittany Lions for a very, very early 3-point lead, but those threes are important. With a 6-point lead in the half, Seth Lundy from way beyond the arc. That's his 4th triple of the first half. He finished with a career high 18 points, all from distance. Second half now, sloppy pass into the lane. Mike Watkins cleans it up. He matched a season high with 19. It's not a close one, but how about a little love for the Harrisburg product? Jahan Proctor for Purdue on the steal and the bucket. Stop me if you've heard this one before, though. Penn State shot lights out from 3. Miles Dredd from State College nets another 53% from downtown. 14 made 3-pointers, a 12-point victory for Penn State on the road, 88-76. Clippers and Sixers, Philly and NBA best 24-2 at home, and for the first time in 14 years, Al Horford off the bench, and he's got something to say. Big Al, that's a 3. Tied at 54 in the half, Ben Simmons helps extend a third-quarter lead on the acrobatic reverse off the glass. But then Kawhi Leonard crosses over Simmons, drives it home with the slam. Kawhi finished with 30 points, 9 assists. In the fourth, a little pushing and shoving. Joel Embiid and Marcus Morris, Philly with the lead, but those two must have some bad blood. Embiid gets the last laugh, though, with this monster block, and Philly wins it 110-103, improving to 25-2 at home. York Adams, Lancaster Lebanon, Tri-Valley, and Mid-Penn all in playoffs now. Some big-time matchups as many teams prepare for district tournaments next week. We'll start in the Mid-Penn semifinals. Bishop McDevitt boys and Trinity, and the Crusaders come out the gate hot. Kenyon Elliott to Antoine Bird in transition. McDevitt jumps out to a 7-0 lead just 3 minutes in. Over 4.5 minutes in, Trinity finally gets on the board. Trey McAuliffe completes the 3-point play, but that was the Shamrocks' only bucket from the floor in the first. Meanwhile, McDevitt stays hot. Jake Kelly, the one to watch, turnaround fadeaway jumper. Seconds later, the senior takes on 3 defenders, attacks the rim, lays it in. McDevitt up 6, second quarter now. Rocks needing something. Marcus Beckett becomes the spark, the corner triple. Just the second bucket from the floor in 9 minutes. McDevitt wreaking havoc on defense. Ben Marsko picks up the loose ball, sees the lane himself, takes it to the hoop, and the harm knocks down the free throw. Then Elliott spots up a triple, good for a 29-11 lead for McDevitt. And a little trash talking to the Trinity student section, by the way. Shamrocks would cut the lead to 4 in the second half, thanks to sophomore sensation Chance Westry and Beckett doing the dirty work. But McDevitt too tough tonight. Kelly on the putback effort. Trinity did tie it at 47 all in the fourth, but the Crusaders pull away to win it 72-61. McDevitt will face Central Dauphin, who took down Shippensburg tonight by 10. In the girls semifinal, Trinity girls reigning District 3 champs taking on the one-loss Mechanicsburg Wildcats. Shamrocks with the second half lead, and this was a fun one. In the third, Aaron Harris to Talia Gilliard on the long-range triple to pull the Cats within 8. But on the other end, this girl can shoot too. Rocks respond with a 3-ball of their own, courtesy of Abc27. Trinity continues to bring the pressure. Katie Sayer in the lane kisses it off the glass. And then moments later on the inbounds, Jalen Moore to Jocelyn Dorsey adds 2 more. Mechanicsburg continued to fight to the end, but Trinity advances to the championship on Thursday, 42-34 to play Central Dauphin. The Rams won by 27 tonight. And I want to go back to Al Horford. This is a big change. First time in 14 years he's come off the bench. I looked it up. 825 games as a starter between the time he came off the bench in his 11th game in the league to now being benched once again with the Sixers.
Wow. I can't believe Penn State was an underdog. They're going to they're going to be in the top 10.
No one wants to respect Penn State at this point in this season, but they're 13.
Keep disrespecting.
They like it.
All right, let's look at the forecast, Eric.
All right, hopefully we get a little sunshine in the morning. Clouds return with rain by tomorrow night.
Okay. Thanks so much for being here. Jimmy Kimmel's next.
Our next report's on Daybreak at 4:30. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.